I remember a story my grandmother once shared with me, a strange and haunting tale that clung to the air like a forgotten melody. It was about a hidden village deep beneath the sea, a place where the currents whispered secrets and the waters shimmered with the power of an unseen world. She swore she witnessed it herself during a voyage with my grandfather, a sailor who navigated treacherous seas with a mix of bravery and recklessness. It began on a voyage that would last nearly a month. The ship, filled with seasoned sailors and a few passengers, set off under a blazing African sun. Among the passengers was a woman unlike any my grandmother had ever encountered. She was striking, her beauty arresting, but it wasn't just her looks that caught attention. Her presence was magnetic, an intoxicating pull that made men forget their vows and women grit their teeth in suppressed frustration. This woman, who called herself Aduke, was bold and flirtatious. My grandmother said she would laugh with abandon, her voice like the tinkling of delicate bells, and her eyes would linger on the men aboard. She made no effort to hide her interest in them, and soon whispers spread like wildfire. Some said Aduke was dangerous, a seductress sent to sow chaos. Others swore she was a runaway noblewoman. My grandmother, ever skeptical, believed there was something far more otherworldly about her. Over the weeks, Aduke became a presence impossible to ignore. Some men on board gave in to her charms, though they would later regret it. She often spoke cryptically, claiming she had seen sights no land dweller could ever imagine, and that the sea held mysteries far beyond human comprehension. When someone laughed at her words, she would flash a knowing smile and say, "You think you understand the sea. The sea knows you better than you know yourself." Then came the day they reached the heart of the ocean. My grandmother described it as a void, no land, no ships, just endless blue stretching into eternity. The waves rose and fell like a heartbeat, steady and deliberate. It was here that Aduke stood on the deck, her figure silhouetted against the horizon, and announced she was going home. The crew was baffled. "Home?" someone asked. "There's nothing here but water." She turned, her eyes glinting like polished pearls. "You see water, I see my kingdom." And before anyone could stop her, Aduke climbed the railing and leaped into the sea. Gasps echoed across the deck, followed by stunned silence. The ship came to a halt, and the crew scrambled to search the waters. But there was no trace of her, no splash, no ripple, nothing. It was as if the sea had swallowed her whole. Shaken, the sailors returned to Aduke's cabin. What they found left them reeling. Her belongings were gone, replaced by an assortment of treasures, gold coins, dazzling pearls, and gemstones that glimmered with an unnatural light. One of the sailors, a man who had spent several nights in Aduke's company, broke down in tears, confessing that she had told him in whispers of a village under the sea. She had claimed to be a princess, the daughter of a great underwater king, and had laughed when he dismissed her words as playful fantasy. The men were terrified. Some believed they had consorted with a spirit, a water goddess, or a mermaid. Others feared they had angered an ancient power. They sought help, turning to spiritual leaders and rituals to cleanse themselves. But the curse of Aduke followed them. One man lost his mind, ranting about shadows beneath the waves. Another was plagued by nightmares of drowning. My grandmother said that even those who had kept their distance from Aduke were haunted by a lingering unease, as if the sea had marked them. Years later, my grandmother still wondered who or what was Aduke, a mischievous spirit, a lonely mermaid seeking companionship, or proof of a hidden world beneath the waves, a kingdom where power flowed as freely as seize the tides. The sailors who lived to tell the tale still speak of that voyage, their voices tinged with fear and awe. And to this day, my grandmother would warn us, respect the sea, for it holds more secrets than you can ever imagine.